This is Daddy Show. Step off.
It's time for the main event.
Hey, what is up? Welcome back to the program, folks. Thank you for tuning in. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Tom Clark, and this is Tom Clark's Main Event. What's up, kids? Welcome back to the program. Good to see you. How's everybody out there today? Happy Friday to you. How's my hair? Am I good? Am I good? Yeah. I look all right, right? I've been rocking this Batman shirt for a while. I'm wearing it out. I'm wearing a hole in it, as they say. Look at that. I'm beating and banging on the desk. I got the jewelry. I got the wristbands. Baby, I'm doing my thing. What's up, kids? Welcome to the main event, everybody. Going strong since 2014. It's your boy, holler at your boy, Tom here. As you can see in the comments, first comment out the gate was not from none of y'all. It's from me. Go check out boinkstudios.com. I'm quite proud of this. I didn't hire anybody to build this. This is all me, baby. boinkstudios.com. You know how I plug the podcast all the time and show them to you all the time and put links everywhere and talk about, hey, go listen, blah, blah. Now you don't have to worry about links anymore, baby. Just go to boinkstudios.com, okay? And everything that you ever wanted to know or to see or to find out about yours truly and all the stuff that I do on the podcast, baby, you're going to find it. All right? For sure. Real quick, let's share the screen and show what I'm talking about. See that? Right out the gate, boinkstudios.com. We've got some guides up here. If you see this, you click that. It'll take you to the Tom Clark's Main Event website. Takes you to the Tom Clark 6M podcast, Two Nations Under Tad. Here's Meet the Hosts. Who's that handsome devil? Uh-oh. And as you see, there's Mr. Phil Lindsay, Jay Lupton, Joe Higgins from Two Nations, and a plethora of other guest co-hosts here that I have used over the past several years. And if you hover over and you can get a link to their social, you can go follow them on their respective channels. You also get the latest Spotify episodes. See that? Boom. Isn't that pretty? I'm a fan. Okay? And also the latest podcast episodes. Once this thing airs today, it'll take the place of this guy here. What do you think? Huh? It's pretty, right? And yes, guess what's in the works? A shop coming your way soon. A brand new shop with highly affordable merch because I'm making sure of it. So I hope you check it out. There's our Discord. By the way, jump into our Discord. I'm going to share a link here with you today, ladies and gentlemen. And I would love for you to join the Discord. It's a social media server. It's a social media platform. If you've never heard of it, it's awesome. Think Facebook, but no BS. I'm in. What about you? I think you'll love it. So I'm going to drop that in the chat here today so you guys and gals can join the Discord. Check this out. Bam. Join the Discord today, kids. There's the Boink Studios Discord. Isn't that the prettiest thing you ever seen in your life? Look at that. Easy navigation, simple stuff, all three podcasts. You never know when I'll decide to go nuts and do a fourth one. BoinkStudios.com, BOINK Studios.com. Go visit and bookmark the site and tell me what you think. It'd be greatly appreciated, kids. Thank you very much. How about we go ahead and get this show kicked off here today? What you guys think about that, man? It's good to see everybody here today. I appreciate you very much. You guys are the best. As always, it's very good to see everybody here today. Let's get my name up there. Let's get stuff ticking. You see the ticker on the bottom where you can find the shows. Basically, boinkstudios.com is where you need to go. Everything you need to know about myself and all the stuff that I do, go check it out. Please and thank you. In the meantime, smash the like button. You know I'm going to ask you to do that, right? Actually, basically, I'm telling you, it's not very cool of me to do that. But I'm doing it. Please. And thank you. Huh? Please and thank you. So, I see Marie is here from Peaches and Power Bombs. What's going on? Let's do a show sometime. Let's do a show sometime. Let's see who all is here today, children. What's up, Ray All Day? Good to see you. What's up, Jeff? Good to see you. Sugar Shane, what's going on? Gregory Walker, how you doing, my friend? Robbie, good to see you, my friend. Let's see. A knowledgeable wrestling gent. Well, we do what we can, Rob. I promise you. Brino, you're going to say hey to Ray, but not me? What's up with that? What did I do? Good to see you. Double V, Victor Vasquez. Good to see you, my friend. Everybody, please go follow the Untitled Wrestling Podcast. Great friends of the show, from that show, Miss Faye Divine's here with us today. And, of course, Jay Luff that I do the Two Nations with. I love how y'all are talking to each other. Nobody says nothing to me. Isn't that funny? What's up, Rendell? See, Rendell said hey. Rendell knows what's up. Oh, I got it in the queue there, Rendell. Don't you worry. We're going to talk about it. We may lead the show off with it. Before we do anything else, kids, please hit the like button. Put up an emoji. Make it cute. Make it awesome. And if you are so inclined, share the show. Share this post. Share this podcast episode in your feed right now, live as we're going. If you're on the socials, do that for me as well. Share it wherever you want, man. Share it wherever you want. I would much appreciate that. You guys are the best. I do very much appreciate you. Eric Jackson in the house. He's decided not to do sports his freshman year at high school. I don't have any idea why. I asked him. He just didn't want to do it this year. I think it's a bad idea, but hey, man, what I'm going to do, right? I can't make him do anything, so it is what it is, I suppose. But yeah, hopefully next year. CRP, what's up? I was just pushing the brand new website, kids, in case you're just tuning in. BoinkStudios.com. BOINK Studios, one word. BoinkStudios.com. The links to all the podcasts are there. There may be other things coming like blogs. I'm thinking about it. I'm thinking about doing a podcast video that will only be available on the website and will only stream on the website. I won't be streaming to any socials. If I decide to do that, I'll let you guys know. There will be no paywall. Don't worry about that. I'm not trying to get anything from you. I just want to boost the website as much as I can. So please stay tuned for that. And as soon as we get something off the ground, I will definitely let you know. Okay? Again, kids, smash the like button for me here today, if you will, and share this podcast on your socials. Again, that would be greatly appreciated. Let's kick this show off with what I know all you guys want to talk about. People have already been talking about here today, and we may as well just go ahead and get going. I don't know what we're waiting on. It's time to play the feud. This past Tuesday, AEW Dynamite went head-to-head with NXT, not by Tony Khan's choosing, but by the choosing of the network. Hey, man, look, the fact of the matter is, Tony went a little crazy on socials. I admire his chutzpah, and good for him. But, did it go too far? I don't know. What's too far? I lived through the Attitude Era. I don't know what anyone defines as too far. I mean, I lived through the time when Eric Bischoff came out on live television and gave away the results of Raw because Raw was taped. Raw is taped. Remember that? Yeah. So, how far is too far? I don't know. Tony Khan, through his social media, as he tends to do quite a bit, as he tends to hang out, did have some comments this week. So, evidently, this week, Tony Khan celebrated the one-year anniversary of the Mayo Clinic saving his mother's life after she suffered a stroke. Of course, first of all, glad to hear that she made it. Glad to hear that she's evidently doing well. That's great news. Khan stated it was during this ordeal that things became personal between him and the other guys, Khan says that many AEW wrestlers came to him at the time and alleged that WWE was trying to get them to break their AEW contracts. We kind of knew that, didn't we? And we know who it was. Khan wrote on socials, quote, "This weekend marks 1 year since the Mayo Clinic saved my mom's life. During her ordeal, many AEW talent came to me alleging WWE tampering, inducing them to break their contracts. I'll never forget these phone calls at her side in the hospital. It's when business became personal for me. This is nothing new. I mentioned it last year after she came home. It's relevant today because she checked in for surgery 1 year ago today. As I've mentioned several times since, the Mayo Clinic are heroes, and thanks to them, her recovery from a very grim outlook has been a miracle. Not that I should be surprised, but the same WWE avatar accounts that spam me every day, no matter what I say or what it's about, now turning their wrath to mom recovering from a near-death experience, is why I straight hate these people to the bottom of my heart with all my soul." Now, end quote. Now, you can look at that and say, well, that's got nothing to do with WWE, right? But you got to put yourself in Tony Khan's shoes, man. People on social media are bonkers. They're not real people. They're morons. They're losers. Not you guys. You guys are awesome. All of us are cool. But the rest of those people, they're nutsos. They're all nutsos, man. They're only on socials to pick a fight, to bring everybody down, to be as wholly negative as they possibly can be. And that's the only reason they effing exist. It's the only reason they effing breathe, is to cause trouble. So anybody that gets too wrapped up in that, I don't know what to tell you. I would tell you to get a life and turn your phone off for a change. However, we know that's easier said than done, right? Isn't that easier said than done? Does anyone actually really disconnect, unplug? It's tough, dude. It's tough. Look, you see the gray. I'm not 25, but I love technology. I don't get this thing where people my age are like shaking their fist at the clouds because grr, technology. I don't understand that. I love this stuff. I'm plugged in every day, man. Believe that. It's just who I am. I love it. I don't understand this let's unplug business. But all I can tell you is that the internet is full of people who are dumb as rocks, who again are just trying to pick fights. They don't have lives. They don't have family to speak of, maybe. I don't know. They don't have any friends. And all they do is, I'm on my phone a lot, but I do have a life outside this stuff. And some people just don't. It's sad, but it is what it is, man. There's no sense in trying to fight it. So to that regard, I would tell Tony, maybe put the phone down occasionally. But again, that's easier said than done. He's an important dude. He's an important dude. I'm not angling to get a job with the guy. I'd work for him in a heartbeat. I love pro wrestling, man. I love doing social media, and I love this stuff. So, I mean, if the opportunity came up and they wanted to have a conversation, I'd be willing to have a conversation. I like when companies are furthering the cause of professional wrestling. And look, people can throw hate at them all day long, but I'm going to be straight with you. Imagine the past 4 years without them. Where would any of these stars be? The guy that used to be called Dean Ambrose probably still would have left. He was leaving regardless. And you could fantasy book all day. Where would he have gone? Where would his career have taken him if AEW didn't exist? Where would the Bucks and Kenny be? Where would Cody have been? Would Cody have went back to WWE? I don't know. You see what I'm saying? You could fantasy book all this stuff. Not everything AEW does is great. Not everything AEW does is right. In my opinion. They do a lot of wonky stuff over there. I'm not suggesting that they don't. And there's some things I don't understand. Some of the booking decisions go right over my head. But I appreciate the talent. I respect what they do. I respect the fact that they do it old school and they try to make it entertaining and make it fun. I respect that they try to pay off storylines and angles, that they pay attention to what the fans want. I like that quite a bit. CRP says the weird perspective of like TK wouldn't have thrown Cena, Taker, and LA Knight on his show if the shoe was on the other foot. Exactly. Business be business, and it also doesn't matter for AEW or WWE at all contract-wise. Also, put the phone down, TK. It's a bad look. Yeah, again, I say that too, but is it's not that easy. I'm sure it's not that easy. Ray says, who were the WWE trying to poach? Khan was talking over emotions. I think he's a solid guy. Well, look, do not quote me because I don't know, but I would suspect that Malachi Black and Murphy, both Buddy Murphy both. Or my guess, FTR possibly, Miro possibly. Because I'm just trying to think of guys who were Triple H's guys. Because at the time, this is what we heard. Do not quote me because I don't know. This isn't me spreading a false narrative or a false story or anything. This is just Tom's somewhat semi-educated guess. This is just what I think. It doesn't mean that I'm correct. Just what I think. Everyone say hello to Ash. What's going on, Ash? Good to see you. Ray says NXT brought the big guns, Cena and Taker. It's hard to compete. Plus, Melo is money. I heard Orange won the belt was because Mox was hurt still, and Phoenix is having visa issues from what I read. Yeah, look, I could sit here and say things like the only reason NXT won this little mini feud on this past Tuesday was because they put legends on their TV. I could say that. Maybe I will. The only reason NXT won this little mini feud this past Tuesday was because they put Hall of Fame legends on TV. They couldn't do it with their own crew. Now, if they had run just their own crew, would they beat AEW? I don't know. I would suspect not. But I don't know. None of us really know, do we? But look what they had to do to get that kind of a victory over AEW. Look, WWE will continue to do this stuff. They go on the offense all the time. They don't play defense. They go on the offense constantly. They pick fights and they go after the other company. They do weird things and they're the ones who are, chest thumping and they're the loudest guys in the room. Meanwhile, that didn't start that way for AEW. Now you could point out things about Cody and busting up the throne and the little subtle, not jabs, but comments made over the years about WWE. I get it. But moving an entire program, which they've done, I mean, was WWE ever doing pay-per-views on Saturdays? Think about it. Now suddenly it's all the time. And meanwhile, AEW's moved to Sundays. Like, what are we doing? But this kind of stuff's been happening for a long time. If anyone's been paying attention, you guys all know this. You guys all know this. Yeah, for sure. Tim, what's up? Timothy says Andrade, Adam Cole, Swerve Strickland, I believe Keith Lee was also part of Triple H's favorites. That makes a lot of sense. Well, maybe they didn't. Maybe WWE doesn't move to Saturday to crap on. Maybe it is just a bear day. Yeah. Maybe. But you got to remember, this is the same company that, competed directly against Crockett and threatened the cable companies. It may not be the same physical people, but it's still the same mentality. Crush and conquer. You know what I mean? Scorched earth. I'm not saying there's a diabolical plan in place with mustache twirling villain behind the scenes, but I do believe it's pounce. I'm just saying, I think that's what they do. I think that's how they roll. I think they've taken their cues from Vince over the years, and I think it's, again, scorched earth. That's how it feels. You know what I mean? I would be curious to know how many decisions they've made like that they made purely from a business standpoint and not because they were gunning at the other guys. I don't know. So yeah, we'll see what happens. No, we're talking about pay-per-views, Ray. We're talking about pay-per-views. How WWE never ran pay-per-views on Saturday until AEW was doing it, and then all of a sudden it became something for them to do. Jeffrey says they probably moved away to get away from Sunday Night Football. That's fair. That's fair. Was that the reason? I don't know. I don't know. CRP says you also have to think about them being sold under the same umbrella of UFC and being able to roll dual events and subscribe everything under ESPN Plus. That's fair too. Maybe that does have something, a role to play in it. Two Nations Under Ted, a Ted Lasso podcast, tackles one of the most popular and critically acclaimed series of our time, bringing together three hosts from two different parts of the world. Two Nations reviews all 3 seasons of Ted Lasso, 34 episodes total, with wrap-up episodes coming at the end of each season. Follow the show on social media at Two Nations Pod, and be sure to subscribe and download on all the major platforms. Just look us up, Two Nations Podcast. So what did you guys think about these two shows on Tuesday? What did you enjoy? What did you watch? Did you channel surf? Did you flip like the Monday Night Wars with Nitro and Raw? Or did you just pick one show and watch it? I mean, you know, I've not made any mystery about this. This is not a secret. I don't watch WWE. I just don't. And it doesn't mean that I hate it. It doesn't mean I think it's garbage. It's not for me. I've always been very blunt and very open and honest. I don't lie about it. It's just not for me. I gave it a chance for a lot of years, and for a lot of years I came away disappointed. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to watch what makes me happy. You know that advice I always give all you? I took my own advice. I watch what makes me happy. That product doesn't make me happy. It just does not. AEW, however, most of the time, I come away pretty happy. But that's Tom talking. Maybe you guys don't feel that way. Timothy says Full Gear will be on a Saturday next month. That's true. Robbie says, I understand competition exists. It's like Burger King versus McDonald's. One says their competition has frozen meat. The other says our fries are better. Some fries are better. Sometimes you just need to do your thing and not like hate the competition. You can book and you can run independently of what the other guy's doing. There is a world in which that works. But in terms of what we're talking about here, I think Tony Khan and there's the McMahon family ego. And again, the crush and conquer mentality. And there's Tony Khan's, I can't say ego. There's Tony Khan's, I don't know. It's almost like Khan's coming at it from the perspective of, you're not pushing me around. You know what I mean? Look, I actually respect that. Does it mean I think that he shouldn't take a break? Well, no, but that's not my call, right? So, like, do I think he should take a break? Well, sure, if he wants to. But I honestly, when I look at it, it doesn't look to me like desperation. It doesn't smell weird. It honestly, to me, from my chair, actually truly looks like this guy is saying, look, I don't scare easy. Like, I do this for a living too. I don't know who you think you're trying to intimidate, but you're not going to intimidate me. Hey, man, he can back it up. He can. I'm just saying. And that's not me necessarily taking anybody's side. That's just how I feel. Jess says, I DVR all wrestling shows. So I watched AEW Live, then went back and watched NXT off the DVR. Bernard, what's up? Says, I watched both. I thought AEW was better. Well, there you go. Ray says, I watched AEW. WWE gave me diarrhea. Well, that's very visceral there, Ray. Shane says, watched AEW, DVR, NXT. Tim says, the only thing I believe NXT won this week because Cena, Taker, and Cody were on the show. That's how I feel as well. That's how I feel as well. So, yeah. Look, what happens going forward? What happens going forward? Do we see this again? This won't be more than likely the last time that AEW programming is moved to a different day through, means that they're out of their hands. Things they've got nothing to do with, that they're moved to different days. You know what I mean? To a Tuesday or whatever. It can happen. It probably will happen again. But the truth is, how dirty can this get? How loud and how nasty can this get? Again, did you ever watch any of the Monday Night Wars? There's your answer. There's your answer. Bernard says, I hate that they had to bring out all the big guns. It took away from the talent of NXT. That's what they do. Ray, did you get New Japan World? Did you subscribe? Shut up, Ray. Did you really? I'm immensely proud of you, man. Have you dove in yet? There's so much cool stuff there, dude. Look up the first time Okada worked Tanahashi. The first time for the championship. And just that match, first of all, is great. But second, the ending, that crowd is stunned. They are absolutely stunned. You'll love it. Trust me. Tana's young and in shape and moving fast, and Okada's Okada, but younger with colored hair. It's great, man. I promise you, it's great. Chris has such a weird take of being like this. Star was on this show when you have Edge's first match in another company on the other company in the main event. Yep, more to do with the day shift. NXT only did 30,000 better than they did with Becky a few weeks ago as the only star. That's well said. Timothy said Dynamite was a great show this week. That same between MJF and Jay White was classic. I enjoyed it. It went too long, but it is what it is. Speaking of, let's play the feud and stuff that's going on within both companies, and I'll throw this under that umbrella. What do you guys think about the Juice Robinson bit about quarters, and instead of MJF, it was Friedman on the roll? And supposedly a lot of people are upset because they felt this was exploiting the events of Israel at this point in time. You guys have any thoughts on that? I think that emotions run high, and that people look to their entertainment to be the stewards of good taste and class. And I don't know how realistic that should be, especially that form of entertainment is pro wrestling that's not really happening. Do you know what I mean? This wasn't the NBA. This wasn't, the Premier League. This wasn't, NFL. This was pro wrestling with predetermined outcomes. Like, I don't know why we continue to look to the business of pro wrestling to be the moral authority. I think that people should, again, maybe re-examine who it is they want to get their information from and who they look to for inspiration. I don't know if pro wrestling should exactly be it. I don't know. Just my opinion. Chris says, that being said, Danielson versus Swerve, I really enjoyed that. But here was not my problem. My issue with that match was, how do you book Swerve to lose after he just beat Page in what was arguably Swerve's biggest victory since he joined AEW? Be honest. How do you book that? Now, you can explain it away by saying, well, Tom, yeah, but, Tom, Hangman technically cost Swerve that match. So Swerve doubled back and cost Hangman his match. Right? Then you had Powerhouse Hobbs pinning Chris Jericho. That was big time stuff. And all those people talking about, Chris Jericho will put over anybody. You sure? Yeah. Brino, hey, so the story that MJF has told a few different times was that when he was a kid that he would get harassed and be, by anti-Semitic children who called him, I'll just say it. All right, called him Jew boy, Jew boy. All right, and they threw quarters at him supposedly. Well, Juice has a roll of quarters with Max's last name on it. Not MJF, not Max, but Friedman. In the same 3 to 5 days that the attacks in Israel are happening. So, people are putting all that together to say, aha! I mean, I guess if you wanted to get it, I'm not Jewish, okay? If I was, maybe I'd be offended. But all I'm telling you is that this is pro wrestling. I don't think we should be looking to pro wrestling for our moral authority. I don't think that should be it. I think that, in my opinion, that should be, your friends, your family, your belief system, whatever. Maybe shouldn't include entertainment. But hey, if it does, it does. Who am I to judge? I don't know who or what you pray to. None of my business. Good on you and good for you. And do whatever it is that makes you happy. Whatever gets you through the night. I'm not going to judge or preach to anybody, dude. Not my place to do that. Do whatever you want to do, man. It's your life. Whoever it is. Just as people reading too much into that, if that is what they took from that, especially when that's MJF's last name. But that's the point. That's the point, is that they were accentuating the Jewish aspect of this. Yeah. Ray says it was, in my opinion, tasteless. I know MJF gave permission, or I hope he did, of course, yeah. But attacking race is wrong. I can see Vince doing this because I would submit that this is a bit different, because in this company, no one's forcing you to do anything and no one hands you a script. You either go along or you don't go along if you don't want to. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if any of the guys necessarily have creative control over the characters, but it's a lot different than being handed a script. This is not Muhammad Hassan, who was just a character, right? Remember that crap they put on TV with when Al Qaeda was happening after 9/11? Do you remember that? Like, it was atrocious. He knew what he was doing. Vince knew what he was doing the whole time. And they eventually had to pull it off TV because it was shameful, is what it was. But at the same time, guys, why are we looking to pro wrestling to be our moral authority, to be our voice of reason in troubling times? It's pro wrestling. There's nothing, this is carny sport. This is nothing about this should be, here's the guide to living your life. Look, I love this stuff too. I'll always be a fan. That pro wrestling can make me cry, can make me laugh, can make me scream, can make me angry sometimes, right? It can do all the above and then some. But at the same time, you got to keep this stuff in perspective, man. This is not real life. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Now, we know that stuff that happened to the other company was motivated by stuff far beyond pro wrestling. It was in here and in here, right? Something different. Chris says Juice has been hitting people with the roll of quarters for a while. Yes, that's true. It fit perfectly into him being a heel. I think it was coincidence. I do not believe that MJF didn't see the irony here at all. I don't believe that. But I also don't believe and acted on it. But I also do not believe it was some grand plan to, let's capitalize. I don't believe any of that crap. You know what I mean? I just don't believe it. Maybe it was, but I don't personally believe it. I think it was a combination of a couple of coincidental things and them wanting to get some heat for Bullet Club, and it worked, didn't it? It worked, right? So I think it was a combination of all the above. Yeah. That's just me talking. Timothy says, I don't think that segment with MJF and Jay wasn't long. To me, it was Well, there you go. I guess I just get nervous when other companies outside of WWE do the talkie, and it happens a lot. I'm always like, oh, you know what I mean? Because it just makes me antsy, and I'm like, can we just wrap this up and go to the next match? That's just me. I believe in telling the story, and I believe in taking time if you need to take time. However, I do believe to some extent, all right, let's wrap this up. Let's get to the next match. Chris says it was MJF knowing Juice. It was MJF knowing Juice knew it was a great way to get him over. Yeah. Well, yeah. And he's flat out face. As if you didn't know that. He's flat out face, man. There's no two ways about it. Adam Cole getting hurt, I think, was a blessing in disguise for the character of MJF as a baby face, because it gives him more time to establish himself against other heels without Adam around, and it gives him a chance to, fully become entrenched in that role. Do I believe he should have ran down to the ring with a chair or kendo stick, clean house, got his belt back? Yeah, actually I do. But I also believe that there's nobody in that locker room that would ever help MJF for any reason at all. Ever. Because it's the character. everybody hated him. Why would anybody help the guy? You know what I mean? So that part does make a lot of sense. E, good to see you, my friend. Sorry to hear the news. Hope you and your family are doing well. So yeah, Ray says, what's the deal with Cole? This is so confusing. Is Cole really going heel? I believe that he will when the time is right, in my opinion. Let's move on, kids. Last week we talked about the news that was all over the place, and we said supposedly, reportedly, perhaps, maybe woulda, coulda, shoulda, CM Punk would be going back to WWE. Well, now, if you believe anything you hear, read, see, smell, or taste, nope. Forget it. We were just kidding. I'm just joshing. None of that's happening. He's staying home on his couch with his dog and his woman. I don't know. Look, I don't know what's going to happen, but I'll repeat what I said last week, and I stick to it. If you want to go somewhere, go somewhere. It's nothing to me. It's fine. If it's what makes you happy, it's what you want to do, go. Go with God. Have a great time. Don't sign the contract till you get all the money you want, and then some. Get your merch, get your money, get your music, get whatever you need, then sign. And I don't care what company. That company, AEW, New Japan, GCW, Impact, Progress, Defiant Wrestling, doesn't matter. AAA. Get your money. All right? Get it whatever you need. Make sure it's going to work. Then sign. And be sure it's what you want to do. And if it is, go with God. If they want him back, take him. If he wants to go back, sign it. And be done with it. Let's go or let's stay at home. It's fine to me, whatever. Whatever. That's how I feel. Do I think he'll be back? Yeah, actually I do. I don't know if it'll be right now, but I do think it'll happen. Do I think it'll happen right now, this moment? No, I don't. However, if it did, I would not be surprised. But that's just me talking. CRP says, if WWE says something isn't going to happen, I got 20 on Punk at Rumble. Otherwise, they wouldn't acknowledge it at all. See the Hardys for an example. I would agree with you ordinarily, but Phil Lindsay, me and Phil did a 6M on Wednesday. And before, it was either before or after the show, because we talk all the time, he brought up and made a very good point. The Rumble's in Chicago. And if there's rumors of Punk going to be there and they don't do anything to debunk it if he's not going to be there, and they blow the doors off with that chant, he doesn't show up, they don't want that. So if they know he's not going to be there, maybe they are the ones that put out the story, look, he's not coming. That way it calms down some of the chants. You see what I'm saying? That actually makes a lot of sense because you don't want to send a Chicago crowd home unhappy. I actually get that. Is that what's going to happen? I don't know. I don't know. Ray said, didn't they fire him on his honeymoon? Via FedEx. Yes. Maybe it's better if he does something else. If he goes to Impact to be the biggest day in the history of Impact, I think it's better than Hulk Hogan going. I don't care. I said it. I don't care what anybody says. I don't care what anybody says. It's bigger than Hulk Hogan going. We're talking about a guy that can still go. A guy that can still deliver in the ring. That's how I feel. That's how I feel. David Down Under, what's up, dude? Ooh, Sugar Shane says, maybe CM Punk has burned too many bridges. Buddy, you could entirely be right. Speaking of go where you want to go, do what you want to do. That's a song, isn't it? I can't remember the song. Hey, what is up? Tom Clark here for Tom Clark's 6M Podcast, where we focus on movies, music, Marvel, magazines, miniseries, and more. It's a complete geek culture / pop culture podcast. Brand new episodes drop every Tuesday. The show is available for subscription right now today on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Audible, Stitcher, Amazon Music, and YouTube. Just subscribe and you'll be all set. Tom Clark's 6M Podcast. National treasure, kids. Newsflash. If you watch SmackDown tonight, you're going to see the national treasure on TV. In an authority role. Let's get situated for this. I hate the authority role. I hate it. I hate the GM. I hate the executive GM. I hate the assistant to the GM. I hate the co-GM. I hate the vice GM. I hate the GM understudy. I hate the GM intern. I hate the senior advisor of the GM. I hate the GM in training. I hate it, and I hate it some more. That company has destroyed, obliterated, annihilated, ruined, devastated, in every way, shape, and form, the idea of an on-air authority figure. I hate it, and have I mentioned, I hate it. I'm not a fan. Yesterday, today, forever. I hate it. I can't stand it. It's overdone. They don't need it. No company really needs it. AEW's been getting away with it for a long time, and it's fine. All you have to do is say, I spoke to Tony Khan earlier. Boom, done. All I have to do is have Tony Schiavone at the desk say, guys, I'm just getting word. Tony Khan said, boom, done. You don't need, I'll put the suit on and the tie and the, listen, blah, 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 and it's 30 minutes of talking. Look, if it's your thing, it's your thing. Do what you want to do. I can't tell you who to sock it to. I'm not. It's not. I don't care. Like it, love it, want some more of it. I don't care. I effing hate it. But that's me. It's fine. If you like it, you couldn't be happier. But tonight, Nick Aldis, the national treasure, former NWA World Heavyweight Champion, during that run, arguably in the top 3, top 5 at least, best in the world. At any given time, he's that good. On-air authority figure with the tie. I got a tie right here. Let's just go ahead and make it look good, shall we? This is where Tom goes mental on live TV, on the air. Just put the tie on. Are you ready? Oh my God. I'm going to put the tie on. And you know what that means? I can be the on-air authority figure for Tom Clark's main event. And I can make crazy decisions that hurt the baby face and make all you people hate me. Look, now I'm official. And this coming from the guy that did a commissioner gig at one time in pro wrestling. I did. Guilty. But hey, it was commissioner. All right. It was commissioner. I had fun too. I was babyface for that role. I know what you're thinking. Me, a babyface? Perish the thought. I had a lot of fun. It was fun. I got to crack some heads with a kendo stick. I quite had an enjoyable time. That tie got me all choked up. Yeah, man. I'm just saying. Brino says, love Aldis. I can picture Brino, who's a student of the game, watching an Aldis match like this. Oh, that was great. Do you know what I mean? Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me you haven't. Tell me, Brino, that you haven't watched Nick's matches and took notes, physically took notes. Because I know you. If you didn't take it with pen and paper, you took it up here and saved it for later. Tell me I'm wrong. Nick Aldis is that kind of worker, just like Okada. He's one of those guys that, like, when you see a move, you go back and watch it again because you're like, God, tell me how that happened. How did he? I got to see it again. Not because it was like smoke and mirrors or because it was Jeff Hardy kind of stuff or you know, something like that. Not like sleight of hand, but because it was just so smooth. And you're like, nobody's that smooth, right? I know you did. Chris says, I agree, but it's Aldis, which means we are getting a match. So if it leads to him versus Cody, if, I hope you're right. I love if when it turns out to be right. We'll see. We'll see. Also, Seth Dallenbach's comments on Punk seems like the actual truth between everything. Yeah. What, Brina, what'd you say? No bridge that money can't fix. Ooh. That's back to the Punk stuff, yeah. What's up, Judge? How are you, my friend? Good to see you. He says will I acknowledge him? I won't be watching. I'd like to see Aldis there. But Jess says, are you sure he would even be allowed to wrestle still having it? Well, here's what I'll tell you. Supposedly he's been there since August as a producer behind the scenes. If he's debuting on live television, I would suspect those indie days are coming to an end. That's what I suspect. Do not quote me. But that company doesn't like you to be double dipping somewhere else. It's how they roll. They want to protect their roster and their talent. They don't want you to be on their SmackDown television show on a Friday night, then be in Sheboygan the next night working for, Downtown Pro Wrestling, DPW. I don't know. You know what I mean? Because they go, oh, that cheapens it. Let guys get their dates, man. Let guys get their dates. Brenda says, guilty. I even watch his interviews. Oh, his interviews are... Yeah, dude, yeah. It's like he took the best elements of Ric Flair and Harley Race and did a hybrid. You know when Harley Race gives you the vote of confidence that you got something. That's Nick Aldis, man. I am, dude. I am. Hope, yeah. Good to see you. Shane says Nick Aldis in the management role is like Wade Barrett doing commentary, wasting talent. 100% agree. Couldn't agree more. Chris says, imagine WWE cares about his indie dates. Those dates are gone. 100% agree as well. Speaking of promotions getting stuff done, Billy Corgan this week announced that supposedly 2 NWA deals have been signed. He was on Busted Open Radio on Thursday. He says the NWA will soon be a top 20 network. Quote, I have to be a bit vague because there's some other political aspects to this, but I can now say that we finally have signed not just 1, but 2 television deals, and that announcement as far as where and who will be coming soon. But we finally now will be able to move off YouTube, not exclusively because we still want to do stuff on YouTube, but we now will be moving to a network partner. I had to be vague. I can't say who, but I can say it's a top 20 network. I'm very excited. I've been working on this for over a year. Like I said, not just 1, but 2 TV deals are involved. 2 totally different wrestling-related products we'll be offering in 2024. End quote. Awesome. Look, here's what I'll say. It's been, it's been a long time coming for Corgan. Everybody said when Billy Corgan bought the NWA, well, they're going to go somewhere because Corgan got that Smashing Pumpkins money. Corgan got that Rockstar money, right? No, Corgan didn't do that. He didn't. Corgan didn't take his wealth and invest it in the NWA. He said from day one he didn't want to do that. Good for him. You want to know what had happened if he had? He might would have lost everything because it would have crashed and burned. Maybe. I don't know. Corgan's thing has always been, I'm doing this for the long term. I'm in this for the long term, not short-term wins, long term. It's a marathon, not a sprint mentality, right? And looks like he was right in his approach. So we'll see what happens. This is a good thing for the business of pro wrestling. If you're looking at this, turning your nose up at it, shame on you. NWA, good for them, and I hope this works out. Chris says, really weird off top, but I compared Shane Douglas earlier to Flair and Race when explaining him. Minus the attitude. Yeah. Shane Douglas in his prime was top notch. He was. Yeah, top notch. Last couple tidbits of the day. I don't care about my daddy. My daddy don't matter. I ain't no Brian Pillman no more. That's my daddy. I'm Lexus King. Is anyone surprised? Be honest. If you sit here and tell me, Tom, his main claim to fame is being Brian Pillman's son. Oh, really? Have you heard of a guy that they call Braun Breaker? Lexus King. But Tom, it's his sister's name and his mom's last name, Tom. Lexus King. Look, if it's what he wanted and he's happy and he got paid, is this all ringing a bell to you? And it's working for him and it's what he wanted to do and this is the direction he wants to go. Have fun. Enjoy your time. Try not to get hurt. Do the best you can. I'm just saying. Do the best you can. Get in there, make it work. Deliver, put on a great show. Don't worry about what the haters say. Go and do your best. Be bold and mighty forces will come to your aid. Who am I to judge? But again, is anyone really surprised? Anybody? What's up, Nate? Everybody say hello to Big Nate Dog. Nate Dog. He don't have a Warren G. Maybe I'm the Warren G. Maybe. I'll be the Warren Gray. Look at that gray, man. Terrible. He says, Tom, if you were a writer for SmackDown, what match or segment would you write for tonight? I'd write the one where Tom no longer has gray hair. I need some of that WWE color, man. Give me some of that color. It makes me look young. Give me that stuff that Bischoff used for 20 years. That dude's hair was not jet black for 20 years. I promise you that. That stuff was getting dyed 6 ways from Sunday. Curtis Axel still is in the Royal Rumble somewhere. That's a great comeback. You kidding me? I am here to judge how terrible that name is as a wrestling name. It's okay to say, yo, that's bad. We can accept it later. Doesn't make it any less bad. I don't have any plans on accepting it, and I don't like it. I don't care. Do you know what I mean? I'm not surprised, and I don't care. But you're right. I got to get color. I've already gotten color the hard way. That stuff hurts. I promise you. I got a little scar up there somewhere. I tell you, it hurts. It's no fun, man. Ray says, shocked they made Pillman change his name. No, I'm shocked he admitted he was related. That's actually a better line. E says, how's the boy doing in high school? Moving on, E. He's doing what he's doing, man. I support my son 100%. I think he's capable of doing great things. I think he can do anything he wants to do and be anything he wants to be. But we'll get him there eventually, or he'll have to get himself there. You know what I mean? He's doing what he can. Last tidbit. I can't show it to you, but I can tell you where you can go see it. Go to the YouTube and check out the Iron Claw movie trailer. It was quite fun. I enjoy it. It's going to be sad. It's going to be heart-wrenching. A lot of it may be very hard to watch, especially if you're a wrestling fan that grew up with that stuff and lived through it. And especially if you're anybody closely related to the events that surrounded the Von Erichs during those years. So, I'm hoping I hope the movie does well, and I hope it does a good job. I hope everyone involved brings it, and I hope it's a hit. If it's supposed to be a hit, you know what I'm saying? Hope they didn't take too many liberties, and I hope it honors the family the way it needs to. That's my answer. Kids, 3 minutes to go. The floor is wide open, baby. Roy, cue it up. I called you Roy. I think I've done that before, haven't I? Ray, cue it up. Chris says, surprised that was the best they could come up with, or he passed that name to HBK and he was like, sounds fine, pal. That's pretty good. Ricardo says, but I don't wanna. It doesn't look good, dude. Look at it. Look at it. I look like a high school teacher, don't I? Where's my tie? I need to put the tie back on. Waiting for the Terry Gordy film. I suspect that's who we see in the clip. Whoever that guy is doing Gordy's got the girth and the size, doesn't he? Now he's asking about the rest of my animal family. Patrick and Pris are the twins. Tiny's my other cat, and Wicket's my dog. Everyone's doing well in the house of Clark. Except for Tom. Tom don't get no love. Only love Tom gets is when he's hanging out with you people. He says I look like a mayor. Ray, where is it? Someone go find Ray. Spoilers for an upcoming show I was on. NWA getting a show. Wrestling on. Wrestling movie. New contracts for shows. MLW going to be hard for new wrestling shows or renewed shows. There you go. Great time to be a fan, though. Great time to be a fan. Ray's questions all chopped up. Shane says, looking forward to the film, but living through it was hard. Go watch The Rise and Fall of World Class Championship Wrestling. That's hard to watch, too. Hard to watch, too. Yeah. Like I said, I hope they've done it justice. I hope they've paid respect to the family and to the story, and I hope that Kevin Von Erich was involved every step of the way, because if he was not, shame on them. Hopefully he was. He's the one with the best perspective. You know, to this day, Kevin's not going to say anything negative about his dad. He won't. He won't. Not that he's supposed to, but like other people will say he was way too tough on those boys and it led to bad things down the road. But like Kevin evidently won't do that. I don't know if I can blame the guy, to be honest with you. Let's see here. I think someone just joined the Discord. Charlotte, aren't you awesome? I saw you earlier in the chat. I apologize for not saying hello to you. I apologize. I was going to scroll back up and see her, and I forgot all about addressing you. Charlotte just joined Discord. You know what that means? Every time a fan joins a Discord for Boink Studios, an angel gets his wings. Shame on you people if you haven't done it yet. Now's your chance. Join the Discord. Boom. While you're at it, this moment of typing brought to you by Tom Clark's Main Event. I don't have to type. I'll just do this right here, baby. Got the website link here, baby. Boom. Look at that. BoinkStudios.com. I got you hookup. Join the Boink Studios Discord and visit BoinkStudios.com for all of Tom Clark's podcast stuff. No, dude, we go at 4 on Fridays, man. I did go at 3:45 last week. I had somewheres to be. What was my favorite Von Erich match? I don't know if I got one specifically, but I would say any time three of the brothers faced the Freebirds in a 6-man tag. Hard for me to pick any other match, honestly, or any other kind of match. All right, Ray. Where'd you go, Ray? Biz Marquee or Father MC Biz Marquee. And part 2, Q-Tip or Nas. Gotta go Q-Tip, man. Gotta go Tip. And if Adam Cole invited you and family to go pumpkin picking with unlimited pumpkin coffee and said, bring a friend, could I join? Yes. Layered to want to get salmon and veggie. I'm guessing that's burgers or salmon and veggies. And salad, could I join as well? Yes, Ray, all day, of course. Of course. BoinkStudios.com, have I mentioned? It's fun. It's pretty. I built it. I'm talented. I think you'll like it, man. I think you'll like it. It's not quite where I want it to be yet, but it doesn't look bad. I'm fairly happy with it. All the podcast stuff's on there for Boink Studios. Boink Studios is my production company, so go check it out. And also links to all of my podcast hosts. Ray's on there. You get a link to his Facebook, and we're going to flesh that thing out. The shop is coming very soon. So yeah, I think you guys will enjoy it. Before we get out of here, I've got 2 things to talk to you about today. Besides the Discord, besides the website, 2 more things. Tom Clark's 6M podcast, movies, music, Marvel, magazines, miniseries, and more. Okay? It's geek culture / pop culture podcast. Wherever you get your podcasts, go check it out. You'll be glad you did. This past week, we put out Beverly Hills Cop. Last week was Luke Cage. The week before was Little Richard. We cover everything. That's a nice little mix, right? We cover everything under the sun. Coming up this week is Chris Patton and myself covering Heels from Starz Network. If any of you guys watched it, that'll be the show for you. Tom Clark's 6M podcast covers a whole lot more than just the pro wrestling stuff. It covers everything you can possibly imagine. Just like the main event, it's not behind a paywall. Please go follow, download, and check it out today. The last thing I want to tell you about, Two Nations Under Ted, a Ted Lasso podcast. Episode number 10 of season 1 drops tomorrow. We are finished with season 1 as of tomorrow. It's nuts. I can't stand it. I can't believe it. It's freaking crazy. We made it. The show started back on August 12th, and we are here. Amazing stuff, man. We are here. 10 episodes later, wrapping up season 1. You will enjoy the show, I promise you. Video and audio drop tomorrow morning, 10 a.m. Eastern time. Do not miss it. If you're not following the Two Nations on social media, do yourself a favor at Two Nations Pod, P-O-D, at Two Nations Pod, one word, on all our social media. Follow the show wherever you get your podcast from. So you have the show you're watching and listening to now, Tom Clark's Main Event, Tom Clark's 6M podcast, and Two Nations Under Ted, a Ted Lasso podcast. Go follow, like, subscribe, and share it today. And I promise you, you will be happy you did. Because again, we try to make these shows fun. I like to podcast with friends, podcast with people who are smart and know what they're talking about and are fun to talk to and hang out with. And that's what I like to do. I create content that I would enjoy myself. I listen to my own content all the time. Not because I'm doing it, but because I appreciate what my co-hosts bring to the table and the banter we have back and forth. Okay? Trust me, I listen to a lot more than just my shows. I promise you that. But I do listen to my stuff. If for no other reason, number 1, because I'm entertained by my content. But number 2, because I do want to always get better. I welcome any feedback you may have. If anybody here would like to co-host at some point and give it a shot, let me know. Send me a message. You can always visit the website. You can email me if you want to. podcast@boinkstudios.com. Let me know what you think. Website at boinkstudios.com if you got questions, comments, or words of wisdom on the website. Join the Discord. Charlotte, you're awesome. Thank you so much for joining. Nothing's behind a paywall. I don't charge you a thing for any content, for joining the Discord, for visiting the website. I'm not trying to sell you anything. I'll open the shop soon. Buy a shirt. Don't buy a shirt. We'll still be friends, okay? At some point, we may do giveaways where I'll be asking you to go to a certain website address and download something or listen to something or watch something or vote on something or whatever. But it won't involve you putting money in my pocket. It just involves me trying to get exposure to my content. That's really all I'm looking for. All right, kids. If nobody's got anything else, E says, who is your favorite Golden Girl? It's Betty White. Who else? It's got to be Rose, man. How do you not pick Rose as your all-time favorite Golden Girl? She's effing great. She's effing great, man. I'm telling you. All right, kids, that's what I got for you. Our audience is whittled down, so we're going to get out of here for today. Thank you, everybody, for watching. I appreciate you very much. Thanks, as always, for supporting the show. Shows, plural. BoinkStudios.com. B-O-I-N-K Studios, one word. BoinkStudios.com. Visit the website today. Let me know what you think. Give me some comments, feedback, questions, thoughts, words of wisdom, whatever you have. I appreciate you very much. Everybody have a great weekend. Stay safe out there. We'll see you soon. Have a great week, and we'll see you next Friday right here on Tom Clark's Main Event. See you, kids.